This is a story that could make you go pale about a big bad wolf in the wood. For this is a story that tells the tale about Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. This is the story of Little Red Riding Hood. A long, long time ago, in a vast forest, there lived a young girl known as Little Red Riding Hood. She got her name from her doting grandmother, who had given her a wonderful red riding hood of velvet, which she wore at all times. One fine sunny day, Little Red Riding Hood was playing in the garden of her mother's cottage and thinking fondly of her beloved grandmother, who she had not seen for what seemed like months. Suddenly, her mother appeared at the kitchen door with a large parcel in her hands. "What's in the parcel, Mother?" inquired Little Red Riding Hood inquisitively. "Inside the parcel is a rich and delicious fruit cake for your grandmother," replied her mother, adding, "She is not very well, and the cake is full of goodness. You must take this parcel to your grandmother at once. She will be so pleased to see you, and the cake will revitalize her and make her feel better."
All right, Mummy.
Little Red Riding Hood was sad that her grandmother was poorly, but thrilled that she was to see the old lady she had missed so much of late. "Oh," said the mother, "also in the parcel is a bottle of milk. Do not drop the parcel, for the milk bottle will smash, ruin the cake, and leave nothing for your grandmother to eat or drink."
Oh, golly.
"I understand, Mother. I'll be sure to be careful," replied Little Red Riding Hood, as she took the neatly wrapped parcel from her mother's hand.
Thank you, Mummy.
"Have a safe journey," said Mother, "and remember, just follow the winding path all the way to the other side of the forest. That way you will arrive safely at the front door of your grandmother's house." "I will, Mother," said an excited Little Red Riding Hood, as she kissed her mother on the cheek and bid her farewell. "And remember," said Mother, as her daughter skipped away with parcel in hand, "don't stray from the path."
All right, I'll remember.
However, Little Red Riding Hood knew a shortcut, and she strayed from the winding path in order to cross a rickety old wooden bridge. It was when she reached the other side of the bridge that a wily but seemingly friendly old wolf greeted her.
"Good day, little girl," said the wolf. "You look very fetching in that red riding hood."
"Why, thank you," she replied. "That's very kind of you to say so." Little did she know the wolf was hungry and was already making a plan to gobble her up.
"Where are you going?"
asked the big bad wolf. "I'm off to Grandmother's house because she is poorly," said Little Red Riding Hood as she innocently gazed into the wolf's evil, hungry eyes.
"What's in the parcel?"
the wolf asked, while salivating at the thought of eating the little girl. "Cake and milk," she replied. "My grandmother is sick, but my mother tells me the cake and milk will make her feel better."
"There,"
said the big bad wolf.
"How very thoughtful and kind. Just as a matter of interest, where does your grandmother live?"
Little Red Riding Hood innocently explained to the wolf exactly where her grandmother lived, whilst she picked flowers to form a bouquet for her dear beloved grandmother.
It's not far.
"You're a very good granddaughter," said the sly wolf. "I hope your grandmother makes a speedy recovery."
Thank you.
He said goodbye to Little Red Riding Hood and disappeared into the woods.
"Goodbye, little girl."
Little Red Riding Hood was completely unaware that the wolf was running towards her grandmother's house at a great speed, so that he could eat her too.
"It's my lucky day,"
said the wolf.
"I intend to eat them both. He, 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 he."
The wolf knocked on Grandmother's front door. At first there was no reply, so he knocked a little louder, and trying to imitate Little Red Riding Hood, he said, "Open up, Grandmother. It's your beloved granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood. I bring you a parcel containing cake and milk. It will make you feel better and cure you of all ills." "Lift the latch," called the grandmother. "I'm so weak and sick, I am unable to get out of my bed." The big bad wolf was delighted and entered the grandmother's house. He walked through the kitchen and up the stairs until he came to Grandmother's bedroom. When he opened the bedroom door, Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother was horrified to see the wolf as he opened up his huge, gaping jaws. "Leave at once! Help! Help!" she screamed. But it was too late. The wolf had eaten her up.
"Yum, yum, Grandmama was delicious," said the wolf. "But I can't wait for my main course, Little Red Riding Hood. I hope she tastes as delicious as she looks."
He then found some nightclothes whilst rummaging through Grandmother's wardrobe. He put on a gown and a nightcap, and then got into bed and patiently waited for Little Red Riding Hood to arrive at the house. Eventually, Little Red Riding Hood reached her grandmother's house, but she was more than a little surprised to find the door ajar. "Oh dear," she said, "how can this be? It's not like Grandmother to leave the door open. She's always so careful." She crept into the house nervously. "Grandmother, are you there?" she asked. Getting no reply, she knocked at her grandmother's bedroom door 3 times.
"Come," said a voice from the room. "Enter, my dear. I am too sick to get out of my bed."
All right.
Little Red Riding Hood entered the room, thinking how her grandmother's voice seemed to be somehow different. As she entered, she saw her grandmother lying in the bed with her nightcap pulled over her face, looking very strange indeed. "Oh, Grandmother," she said, "what huge ears you have."
"All the better to hear you with,"
replied the big bad wolf. "And Grandmother, what big eyes you have."
"All the better to see you with,"
said the cunning, evil, big bad wolf. "And Grandmother, what large, hairy hands you have."
"All the better to hug you with," said the wolf. "And the hair keeps my hands warm in the cold weather."
"Oh, Grandmother, what huge, sharp teeth you have." Then suddenly the wolf leapt from the bed and let out a mad, evil laugh.
"All the better to eat you with,"
he screamed, and then he swallowed Little Red Riding Hood whole. The wolf was so tired, having eaten Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother, that he let out a huge yawn. Then he opened the parcel containing the cake and milk.
Dessert,"
he said, and he ate the cake and washed it down with the milk. The big bad wolf now took a nice, relaxing nap on the bed, and he began to snore very loudly.
In fact, his snoring was so loud, it came to the attention of a local huntsman and neighbour who just so happened to be passing by. "That snoring sounds strange," said the huntsman, and he entered the house to check that everything was how it should be. When he entered the bedroom, he saw the big bad wolf lying in the bed. He prodded the wolf with his rifle. The big bad wolf woke up looking startled and scared. "Aha!" said the huntsman. "It's the big bad wolf. I have hunted you for some time, you evil creature, and now I'm going to shoot you so you can never terrorize the people of the forest as you have done for so many years." "Please spare me," said the wolf. "I promise to change my ways." But then it occurred to the huntsman that the big bad wolf may have eaten the grandmother, and that there may just be a way of saving her. He knocked the wolf out cold with the butt of the rifle and then produced a pair of scissors. He skillfully snipped open the wolf's stomach and was surprised to see a young girl in a Red Riding Hood.
My goodness.
She sprung out and said, Oh, thank you, kind huntsman. It was so dark and awful inside that wolf." On further inspection, the good huntsman found Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother inside the wolf.
Well, I never.
He pulled her from the wolf, and the grandmother was reunited with her granddaughter at last. "I'm alive and feeling so much better," said the grandmother. She thanked the huntsman and then hugged her granddaughter, who she was so thrilled to see. Feeling hungry, they went to the kitchen, where they sat down at the table and ate a feast of some cake and milk that the huntsman just so happened to be carrying inside his shoulder bag. "That's just what I needed," said the grandmother. "I feel even better now. In fact, I feel as right as rain." Before the huntsman left, he made sure the big bad wolf was well and truly dead before packing its skin into his shoulder bag, thus claiming his well-deserved prize. He bid Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother farewell and told them to be more careful in future. "Always keep your doors locked and never, ever stray away from the path,"
"I won't,"
he added, before leaving to continue his work. "He's right," said Little Red Riding Hood. "I will never stray from the path again." She was true to her word, for on another occasion, Little Red Riding Hood was taking a parcel of cake and milk to her grandmother and was approached by another big bad wolf. He tried desperately to entice the little girl from the path. However, remembering what she had promised her grandmother,
No, thank you, Mr. Wolf.
she stayed on the path until she reached her destination.
I'm here.
Little Red Riding Hood stepped inside the house, and the grandmother locked the door with the new locks fitted by the kindly huntsman. Soon afterwards, the second big bad wolf knocked and said, "Open the door, grandmother. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I bring you cake and milk." When there was no reply, the wolf jumped up on the roof of the house so that when Little Red Riding Hood was leaving, he could pounce on her and gobble her up for tea. The grandmother, however, had seen the big bad wolf jump onto the roof and knew about his deadly intentions.
I know what he's up to.
With her beloved granddaughter, she hatched a cunning plan and began to fry up some delicious sausages that had been brought to her by the huntsman.
This'll get him good and proper. Oh, goody.
Once cooked to sizzling perfection, they placed the sausages on a stick and dangled them out of the window at the side of the house, just above a deep lake.
That'll do it.
The smell of the delicious sausages was irresistible to the big bad wolf, who sniffed and sniffed and sniffed, moving gingerly to the side of the house until he slipped and fell into the lake and drowned. At the end of the joyous day, Little Red Riding Hood thanked her grandmother for a wonderful time.
Thank you, Grandma, for a wonderful day.
She then skipped home to her mother's cottage, not once straying from the path. And from that day on, no one ever did anything to try and harm Little Red Riding Hood again.
This is a story that could make you go pale about a big bad wolf in the wood. For this is a story that tells the tale about Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood.
Can I help you? Why are you looking down my rabbit hole? Inquired a voice from behind. Alice